What's up, everybody? This is Lawrence with Naughty Fish. I'm about to run through my quick kayak setup right before I launch here at the Harwood Mills reservoir in Yorktown, Virginia. So I kind of want to just, before I launch, show you how I have my kayak set up and why. It's really kind of right now set up for an ocean launch, but I just get used to it this way. But there is some things on it I guess I'm gonna try to use for fresh water, and I'll explain it. I got a lot of my styles, the way I have things set up and the things I like throughout a lot of my time in Okinawa, Japan. And if you do get the chance while you're in Okinawa, Japan, or just want to see the type of fishing styles that are out there, go check out one of my good buddies, Joe, aka Aji, on his YouTube page. The YouTube page name is Oki Gulz, O-K-I-G-U-L-Z. Go check his fishing page out. You'll see some awesome jigging techniques. He's also has some videos when he was down temporarily doing some military training in, I think it was Mississippi. Also awesome techniques, awesome skills. He's doing really good in the kayaking world. I think he's one of those up and coming stars. You're definitely gonna see him more and more as he gets bigger. He just awesome page. Go check him out when you get the chance. Again, his page is Oki Gulz. So I'm sorry I'm not showing my face in this video right now. My main goal for this video is to kind of just walk you through my Hobie Revolution 13 kayak setup. So we got starting with the Rudder. The Rudder is just like an expedition kayak or a touring kayak, the long skinny ones. It goes in the back of your kayak, it turns left and right, and what that does, obviously, it turns your kayak left and right. So for this one, I actually increased the width of this guy and the length a little bit. So there's an upgraded mod, just so I can get a better turn when I'm tracking in the water. It's really ideal, especially when you're in current out in the big ocean, because when those swells start coming in, you want something that's in the water deeper and giving you a little bit more pull on that turn, so that you can upgrade this Rudder. Then you got the little leash. See the little leash right here? That leash goes over, or you can undo it and goes over that Rudder. So when you're driving, the rudder doesn't get hit with the wind. It opens, drops down, stuff like that. So it's just a protectant. And that little pad right there, I just got that, so every time the rudder hits the top, it doesn't make a lot of noise and doesn't mess up my rudder. But honestly, you probably won't be messing up your rudder too much anyways with that. And the more rubber and the more fabric type things you add to your kayak, just know those are more things that you can get caught up on. So they just make your kayak look cooler sometimes, keep it quieter, especially if you want to stand on your kayak and you want some foam. They're ideal, but some of those things definitely get caught up with your hooks, and especially trebles and things like that. So just be mindful when you're buying that type of stuff. You'll notice, let's see here, starting with the back, you got the Railblaza light. Those is one of probably the #1 selling type lights out there for almost all kayaks are going with this Railblaza. The Railblaza, what's cool about it is this pole easily comes out by just pushing a button. This whole pole comes right out. And this has 3 mods, like 3 lengths. So it gets about this high, drops down and drops down again, and then drops down to the bottom. This little light comes off and can go straight to that Railblaza. Or you can add 1, 2, or 3 poles. This has 2 poles on it right now attached to each other, and I can add 1 more a little higher, which is good because if you want to go out and you got bigger swells, or it's darker and you're in maybe some deeper channels with maybe some freight ships out there or something, then maybe you want a little higher viz. So you can actually increase that. But again, if it's higher, then you got to realize that your poles and stuff can possibly get hit on that, you name it. So just be mindful of how big it's going to be and why, and little things like that, and especially the angles of your rods compared to your light. Placing this here compared to there or back here, all that was a thought. I definitely had to sit there and think about exactly where I was going to put that light. Most people kind of put it toward the end right here, but obviously my rudder's there. So you just got to think about your kayak and how it is. Some people's rudders don't flap up. They just go left and right. They're down here. Some are down here. So really, each kayak might vary. The rod holders. So right now, this kayak comes with 2 rod holders in the back, kind of like a trolling in a way, but they're not really ideal for trolling, especially with this one. However, you can in the right, if you can stay in the right heading and stuff. But I definitely recommend getting various upgraded rod mounts that, see the little rails here, you can attach some rod holders to those rails. That's a YakAttack Rail holders. Those are ideal because you can just put the rod holder in any, position and it's one of those things where if you didn't like that, you could just unscrew it a little bit and adjust it to your perfect hand length and comfort and so forth. And then you could just attach other items like a cup holder to it, and you name it. This fish finder I have up here can easily be mounted to any of these as well. So it's just ideal. And then these rods, again, sometimes I kind of pick and choose how high my rod is going to be, just so one, it can clear the tip of the front of my kayak in case I'm going left and right fighting a fish or something. Because one day I'll be fighting some big marlins, because I haven't done that yet. I also look toward, let's see here, what else are we looking at? My paddle. So this is a little paddle. It actually extends, telescopic type. It's really just a kind of a backup safety, maybe to get me on the launch, get me off certain areas. But really, I don't use the paddle much. Use the pedal, which is over here, and that's a simple MD pedal drive. But it does have the upgraded turbo fins, which you can see the little silver blades on that. It comes in, I think, blue, silver, and black. I think are the two color for turbos. So that's a good upgrade. Definitely, if you have an older version like mine, upgrade the fins at least. And if you got the money for it, upgrade the whole MD, make it an MD 180 with the turbo fins, and you'll love going from, I think, about an average of 6-7 miles per hour. You'll increase it to almost 9. So I think I've seen a couple guys get it to 11 miles per hour. So it definitely is a huge advantage, like a huge advantage. If you think about an average small little sailboat can average about 7 miles an hour, and your kayak is doing about 9 to 11. That tells you something right there. So right here we have the DIY thing that my son helped me make. It was a little fish finder transducer mount for the Hook 2 Lowrance. The Lowrance fish finder, there's so many there of different fish finders that are really great. I did have a Garmin Strike. I think it was a 4. It was a smaller version. It looks very similar to this in a way. Both were ideal. I think just whatever your money can get. I wouldn't try to go too cheap with a fish finder, like anything under 100, but at the same time, you don't need to go anything too expensive, like maybe $200 is an ideal price for a fish finder. But the more expensive you put into it, I tell you, the more in depth you'll get on the screen. Let me walk through this fish finder real quick and how it's set up. So again, you got just one like power cord hooks up to your fish finder here, and then the transducer gets one cord. These cords link up together on one cord. That one cord is actually hooked up into this one, and this one are hooked up to one cord, and then it's powered by this 12-volt battery. 12-volt battery I got on Amazon for, I think, I don't know, 20 bucks. And then my Mirage drive here is actually leashed. You can see right there, it's like a little quick disconnect fastener, a snap ring snap fastener right into the wall right here. And that's just so in case this kayak ever to flip, it's not gonna flip in his leg, but if it did flip, I won't lose my Mirage drive. And yeah, that's pretty much how this thing's set up. Again, this is a ram ball. This ram ball went straight into here, and turn it, and it tightens when you turn it. So there's no gluing, and there's no sewing and drilling, and you name it. So it's good. Just goes right in, turns, and if I don't like it, just turn it, unloosen it, pop it back out, it's done. This ram ball right here, put it whatever position I want, tighten this to the set setting, and we're done. So that's a really good setup. Normally I keep a very small tackle box with replacement things, so if I'm on the kayak, I can adjust and fix my broken lines and you name it. Then I also keep a little box with little leaders on it, you know, 6 inches to 12 inches of already leader hooked up with a little snap ring to a hook or something. So if I'm doing bait fishing, that's just a quick in and out, throw it in and good to go. This has some padding on it, not a perfectly cut padding, but it's there just for comfort and a little bit of a look. I got a little box here. This is kind of empty right now, but normally during the trip it'd be a lot of oh, that was awesome. Sorry about that. Still sick. Probably shouldn't be out in this 38-degree weather. So inside this box right here, I normally will put all my used lures that I'm using throughout the whole event, and at the end of the day I'll take it out, either rinse it out with salt water and then put everything back in my tackle boxes. I do keep, so like there's no cooler right now, but you could put a cooler in the back. If you don't have a cooler, normally that's the that's the challenge, figuring out what type of cooler to get. So what I normally do is I will reach backwards, see how far my hand goes, and see if I'm able to open the cooler while I'm in the kayak, get an idea of where my hand's gonna be, how high it wants to go, and then I start looking at cooler sizes, the depth, how the lid opens either from the front or from sideways, and then how wide and how long the cooler's gonna be based off your kayak. So each kayak, some make them ideal for big coolers, awesome Yeti coolers, you name it. For me, I like to be kind of minimalist. I don't like to have a lot of heavy stuff in my kayak. For me, this is already a lot. I like to carry with one arm on my shoulder, come out to the launch, drop it down, put the stuff on real quick, and I'm good to go. I'm all about trying to do this quickly. So my goal is anything under 5 minutes to get set up. I like that. However, some people come out with the crazy wheels, which is awesome. They do got some good wheels. For me right now, I don't need the wheels. I don't put the big coolers on because I'll use a little leash right here. This one I got Bass Pro. I think it was like 15 bucks. But you could use a rope, it's a simple little rope with something on it. This one comes with a little custom protecting at the tip so you don't get damage with the teeth of the fish and so forth. And it's really light, so everything I got fits in just almost one bag. This little bag is a dry bag, and everything in there is just my wallet, my papers, maybe fish license, backup food, lunch for later, you name it. So that's just always good to have a dry bag for emergency stuff. And then even my marine radio is inside that thing. Yeah, you gotta have a marine radio, especially when you're out in the big ocean. For this lake, might not need it, but you never know, man. Be surprised what you might run into or get stuck on, or you name it. You just gotta be ready. I do have a flotation. People don't, when they see my videos, they're probably asking like, where's your flotation? That bag, first off, is a flotation, so I can air it up, and that's one. But attached to that is actually hip flotation that inflates when I pull it or inflates when I blow into it. So normally don't like to blow things, but I'll blow that motherfucker. And this right here is a hog trough. Now, I don't like that thing at all, and I hope somebody comes up with something better. That thing's annoying as hell. I do have a millimeter and a centimeter tape that I got from Japan that I use all the time. Because it's low pro, it's actually right there. That's it right there. It just fits there, opens up, measure my fish, and go. However, for a lot of bass fishing tournaments and events in here in the States, that's like required. So you have to use that in order to document your fish and actually claim that you caught that fish. So, you know, gotta get used to this thing. I'm not used to it, I don't like it. But they do make mounts that hook up to this rail YakAttack system here, which I do have, but I just haven't played with it yet. I gotta get some time for that. I also keep right there and right there, those are some just some dry cloths and some rags. I never know when I need to dry my hands off, if it gets too cold or, you know, dirty fish, you name it. So I'm always, for me, I like to dry my hands off, you know, it's just a personal thing, I guess. And then of course I do have a tackle box right there. It does have kind of whatever lures I need for whatever event I'm doing, from top water, saltwater fishing, freshwater fishing, you name it. So I try to just keep that stock with things I might need out here. And I do keep a light and a medium rod. If I'm going out trying to catch bigger fish, I might keep a light, medium, and a heavy rod. This is kind of a heavy reel with a medium heavy rod. So this is the one I can actually catch my tuna with too as well. It's a good one. It's actually my Biomaster 5000. So it's a good rod and reel. This one's a 2500 Shimano, and it's an Olivia, and it is an awesome reel, man. I just love that one. Catch bait fish with it, but I can also go out. It's a little bit probably bigger than you want for maybe squidding or something, or egging, but it's still an ideal reel with a very light rod. So medium heavy and a medium light. So yeah, and that's kind of it right now, I think. I will say the seats here, I specifically were looking for a bucket style sit inside type. This is a sit on top kayak, because obviously you're not like in a cockpit like you would be in a expedition or touring type kayak, or you know, something like that. However, this kind of gives you that feel when you're closer to the water, which is kind of what I like. I like that more natural, closer to the water look. So that's what I went for. But yeah, that's my video.